qualifying had reversed, we could go through those positions. Don't really need to because the race is underway. At the moment, the car 223 of Zach Hanlon is leading the race. We'll just give you a short praise. See Jake Maloney, who's driving very, very aggressively, probably would say too aggressively. Nigel Marneve, Jason Benson, Mick Hammond, Simon Feigl, Tobias Cherney and Tom Jones. Cohen Klopman and Nathan Groudon will run out our top 10. I'm Brenton O'Brien. With me tonight, Jake Blackhall. Carnage tonight there, Jake.
Yeah, thanks, Brenton. There was a little bit of carnage on that one between the two leaders at the moment, but they've sort of settled themselves down, given a bit of racing room. But Maloney is trying to have a dig at the moment on Zach Hanlon through there. He's given him a touch actually, and around goes Hanlon in the lead. He's around, big crash. There's a lot of cars involved there, and that was a little bit of a interesting move there from Maloney.
No, that was not that crash hot actually. It was worse than interesting. I'm not sure what Jake's been doing there because he has been, he's just hit the curb there and just driven straight into the side of Zach. So, and what that's also done is taken out 3 of the ERA cars in one shot. So, not great driving there by Jake Maloney, and I would think, no doubt, a pen will be issued during the week. But the guys, I'm not sure, do they get a quick repair? I don't think they do. So, I would suggest that that's the end for Tom Jones. And who else we got? I can't see who else. There is Sean Evans. So, yeah, not great. Nuno Tang and Lance Halls, I think, all caught up with that incident, as well as Daniel Leet.
Yeah, a lot of
cars
Tobias
Cherney. So, yeah, that move's kind of wiped out the 5 of the top 10 cars.
Yeah, it even wiped out, Tobias Cherney, as you were saying. I did see him with some damage, as well as Simon Feigl. He's got a whole bunch of damage to the front end of his Mercedes at the moment. He's running in 6th position, but yeah, definitely a lot of front-running cars taken out there. That's going to shake up the championship. And just looking up front now, so Maloney started to skip away after all that. Now we've got Benson and Hammond, the 2 teammates here with the laser electric tools on the cars today. They are running 2nd and 3rd at the moment. The 2 will be heating up in this battle right now. Looks like Hammond has the faster car. Bench just maybe holding him up just a little bit, but that's all what happens with the reverse grid. It really mixes it up, and it looks like Hammond may want to get around to try and catch Maloney.
Yeah, well, with the reverse grid, it certainly stirs things up, doesn't it? And Jake Maloney has had a bit of a chance to regroup, I guess. But yeah, with Mick Hammond in 3rd position and the sister car of Jason Bentz in 2nd position, these guys were very quick in practice and in qualifying, and over, what are we on, lap 4 now? There's quite a bit to go. Looks like team orders might be coming into play here. Mick Hammond has just driven around Jason. No dramas are there. So the team leader of that the GT3 attack for these guys is taken over 2nd position, and no doubt he'll make pretty short work of getting up to Jake Maloney.
Yeah, definitely team orders there. Ben's led him through. Just got out of the throttle there, coming through turn 9 and 8 through the S's there, and just let Hammond through. He's going to have to try and catch Maloney. He's got a bit of a gap here, but he has a lap car in the way. Carlos Few is just in front of him at the moment. Obviously, maybe got caught up with some of that early lap incident, but he's a bit far behind. You don't want to get caught up here. He's going to let them pass on the right in a bad position.
Clumsy.
He's going to come back out in front of Nigel Beneath. Very clumsy, as you were saying. So he's got to try and move his way out of the way here. He's got Cohen Klopman behind them as well, who has managed to get around him. But he's in the worst spots at the moment for these drivers trying to come through. And I think Simon Feigl as well as pitted from P6.
Yeah, well, Simon was caught up in the Jake Maloney incident on that first lap, so some damage to Simon's car, and I would think that the practice that they did during the week has been thrown away. What we will do quickly, whilst we've got that chance, is go through some championship in the Clubman Drivers Championship. We've got Gary Cousins in the Mercedes for Laser Racing, leading in front of Alex Marshall, Daniel Leake, Chris Pauly, Lachlan Crowe, Lance Horse, Jacek Frazek, Simon Sanchez, Peter Sattler, and Min Park. I'll just go through those very, very quickly. In the Pro-Am Drivers Championship, Anthony Winkleman, who's done such a good job in that BMW for Green Hornet Racing, leads the championship. Kevin Huang, Jason Bentz, Danny Conlon, Paul Lonergan, Nathan Groudon, Hyun-Soo Lee, Alex Cherney, and Simon Feigl. will round out. I know Matthew Trotman will round out your top 10. So that's that field. And if we go to quickly the race, the team championship, Laser Racing, who are 2 and 3 at the moment, lead that in front of Marquee One Racing Career, Green Hornet Racing, Archipelago Racing, with Evolution Racing Australia behind them. So the championship is certainly brewing, as we hear, with round 4. But like you said at the start there, after that incident, the championship's going to be turned on its head.
Yeah, championship's definitely going to be turned on its head, but one car that's still somehow making it towards the front, just having a look, Anthony Winkleman here. He is down in P7 at the moment behind one of his teammates for Green Hornet Racing, so he's made up some ground from 13th on the grid, just working his way up after all that carnage, and just going to put himself in a nice little position here. He came second last week at Okayama, and if he can keep this up, he may be looking for a good top 5 position here and a good bundle of points.
Yeah, he will, and I'll tell you what, this has been... I think he would be disappointed with his qualifying down in 13th, I think, like you said. But, with all those incidents and, 5 of the top 10 being taken out so early, well, he's been able to cash in. He's kept his car clean and, like you said, up into 6th position. He's got Nathan Groudon right behind him, so still a bit of work there to be done, but certainly in a lot better position now than what he was not so long ago.
Yeah, that's right, and he got that position on ground and he led him through at turn 11 there at the hairpin, just let his teammate pass. So Anthony's obviously got the pace, just didn't get a good quali session in, and he's going to start working his way back up here, and he's got Cone Klopman in front of him as well as Nigel Marneef, so he can start to reel those two in. He may be looking for a good solid result, but he's done well to get in the position that he is in, as well as Alex Marshall behind them in P8. He started down in 16th, so he's gained 8 spots already, lap 7. He's doing a good job here for Apex Racing, and he's all the way up in P8.
Yeah, the Apex Racing car, the car 89, the BMW striking livery, the Simputers Racing there. Yeah, Alex is a seasoned driver, isn't he? And he's doing very, very well in the championship. And again, this is someone who is cashing in his chips right now. Like I said, the top guys have all been belted out. So this is a chance to make hay while the rain shines and while the sun shines, and get some valuable points.
Yeah, if you can get some good valuable points here, it'll definitely help him in this championship hunt that he's in. But just the field is very spread out at the moment, definitely up front. Not a lot of gain is being made from Michael Hammond. He did a 13.2 last time, and Maloney did the same, a 13.269. So not much difference between Maloney and Hammond up front. The gap's a static 2 seconds at the moment, and Benz is definitely dropping into the clutches of Nigel Beneath here for the battle for 3rd and 4th.
Yeah, some guys have already taken their pit stop nice and early, so we have to remember that. So just keep your eye for that. With this, you don't need to take fuel, you don't need to take tyres. It is quite simply literally a stop-go and get out of there as quick as you can. The disadvantage is you can get caught behind slower traffic, and with this track at Sonoma, it's such a difficult track to pass on. Looking forward to Monza next week when these guys hit the track, but it's just always drama, always action with these guys. It's such a big field, it's a tight track, so anything could still happen.
Yeah, still a big field. Not as much as we had last week. I think it was 53 something cars last week. We got 38 tonight, so a little bit down, but around Sonoma, that is a huge field size, especially when the lap times are in the 1 minute 12 to 1 minute 13 bracket. You're catching up to guys pretty quickly, and especially with the little dramas that happened, it's made the field really spread out, and it's already lap 9 and we're already into lap traffic. We've only done about 13 minutes of this race at the 45-minute length, and there's still a long way to go. And Maloney right now is catching up to Timothy Jackson, who has obviously had a couple of troubles in the MPMS racing simulators, Evolution Racing Australia car.
Well, that's a mouthful when you say it like that, isn't it? But yeah, well Jacko didn't get a qualifying lap in, had family commitments, but I think he's already, looking at his times, he's already had one of his pit stops. So yeah, the car 67, the TTL Mercedes-Benz now around that hairpin on lap 9. So still a long way to go in this race. Let's have a look at his lap time. Last lap of 13.319 as he crosses the strike here. Looking for consistency at 13.147, so good times there by Jake Maloney.
Yeah, and actually Michael Hammond just did a 13.872, so he's lost 7/10 that lap to Maloney. So the gap's now about 2.6 seconds between the leaders, and then behind them you've got just Jason Benz and Nigel Marneef. They're just at a static time. Marneef actually gained 2/10 that last lap, so he's starting to make some ground. But behind him, Chloe Klopman as well is starting to make a little bit of inroads on the two in front in the BMW. It's interesting to see the BMW is a very strong car, and there's a couple up here. So you got fifth is the first of the BMW. Then behind him, he's got Anthony Winkleman and another BMW, and as well as Nathan Grouden and Alex Marshall. So the BMWs are sort of all there and ready to go. But I think we got an incident with Michael Hammond.
Yeah, we do, and I can't help but see that there was a car, Nuno Tang, in way down in 35th position. He's got some front end and some rear damage. I'm just going to go back there, have a look to see what's happened, and I think he's just had an off in front of Mick Hammond there, so certainly nothing that was in control. Oh, actually, no, I stand corrected. He's actually driven right out in front of Mick Hammond. Like, that's not good by Nuno Tang there. That could have been really, really messy. He's had a spin on his own volition, but then come out on the track in front of him, so not good driving at all.
Yeah, I just seen that back, and that was poor driving. Definitely poor standards of coming back on. That re-entry was really bad, and it could have actually taken Hammond straight out of this race and could have messed up both of their cars, but he managed to avoid it. He did a good job of that, and Maloney right now going down the inside of Jacko, so obviously that's just getting a lap down there from Jackson not having the pace. But it's actually brought Hammond back to Bence a little bit with this little battle that's starting to form up for P3 at the moment between these three cars here, and just may start to just put a little bit of mind in Hammond. I don't think Ben's had the pace of Hammond as they let him by early on, so he may just be able to pull away, but he's definitely lost some ground to Maloney.
Yeah, he has. And the thing is with the pit stops is the pit stops are all identical, aren't they? With time, really, it's the difference is you know your pit entry and pit exit, how quick that can be. But Jason Bent, this is a battle that's heating up a little bit. Bent's Marneef, and in both in the Mercedes-Benz, and then behind him Cohen Klopman in the BMW. So it's good to see the variation in cars coming back. Like last week, it was very much a Mercedes show. This week it seems a bit more balanced, and there was changes to the cars over the week. The Audi got an update. The Mercedes gained something, but I think might have lost something as well. It certainly gained on fuel conservation or consumption. There's the word I'm looking
Efficiency.
for. Yeah, consumption's good too. So it's made gains, but it's made losses as well. But the Audi, of which there isn't many here, unfortunately, due to the its inadequacies early on, shall we say. So it's good to see the BMW up there again.
Bence was sideways in front. He's sideways. He's lost it. Bence has lost it, and he's in the fence. He lost it through the S's, got loose coming out of turn 7, and it's managed to put it in the wall. How much damage he got, I don't know, but he's rejoined. Yeah, he doesn't look like a lot. He may just touch the tyre wall, but he definitely lost the rear there, and he's lost a lot of time to those guys in front of him.
Yeah, but also it shows how quick that these guys were getting away from the cars behind. I'm thinking he's going to pit. Yes, he is. Yep. So having a look at his pit entry here, this is the car 100. Was in third position. He's going to have to stop anyway, but I don't think he would have been planning to stop at this stage.
Yeah, it may have a little bit of damage that he may need to get repaired. Don't know how much it is, but we'll see what happens.
And we've got our friend Nuno Tang again. Well, to be fair to Nuno, there was a bit of a dive there by Chandra Yong in 9th position. Chandra trying to lap our friend Nuno Tang there, and that was unsuccessful. So both BMWs there at that final turn have punted each other. They're going to be able to recover, but Nuno, it looks like he's a guy to watch out for, Jake. He's going to supply plenty of action, I'm sure.
Yeah, it looks like he's just not having the greatest of days at the moment, and he's sideways in front of Martin Silvassi in the Apex Mafia Racing. He's off, and there's a car off actually next to him. I don't know who
Muhammad
that
Ali
was,
Shark.
He's all over the shop at the moment. He must have a lot of damage, and there's Bence coming out in all of it.
Now? You can tell when there's drivers out of their depth, and Nuno, I'll say it to you, and I hope you listen to it, you are out of your depth, mate. That is disgraceful what you've continued to bring to this race.
Yeah, that was very poor driving there. He just lost it in front of Benz, who was actually coming back on from rejoining, and it was just a mess. Cars everywhere there. And actually, just having a look here where
So
Benz
who's he
came out.
taken out here? Has he taken
Uh,
anyone out? I can't believe he's done that. That's no doubt Mr. Huang over the week will be having a look at that, and I would dare say that Nuno's just driven his last race for Sim Races Asia.
yeah, there's I don't think he actually took anyone out. I think got
No.
into Benz, but that's about it. So Benz coming out of the pits, fixed damage, and may have picked up some more. But Benz is in a lot of traffic at the moment as well, which he will just try and work his way around. But he's doing quite well at the moment, down a little bit. But if he can just pick the pace
Well,
up, he may still be all right.
what's really interesting, he's actually come out behind Tom Jones. So Jones has certainly made some gains here. Started 11th on the grid. This guy's one of the pro drivers for next week's Blancpain Endurance Series, which starts at Monza this time next week. Everyone is looking forward to that. 40 of the best teams in the world will be driving in that series, so make sure you watch out for that event next week. Racesport TV, I think, will bring you all the action there, and that's going to be some sensational action with the world's best endurance races all lined up on the grid.
Yeah, that's going to be an awesome race to watch at Monza. It's going to produce some of the best racing we'll see in the World Championship to date. It's different to the F1s, it's different to the NASCARs. It's definitely just going to be all about the teams who can do this endurance job the best. And expect some teams to maybe fall to the wayside next week that may not do that. But today at Sim Races Asia at the moment, Maloney has got a 4.5 second lead to Michael Hammond.
Yeah, take away what he did on that first lap, and no doubt the stewards will rip him to shreds for that. But outside of that, Jake's done a pretty good job. He's driven consistent fast laps, and yeah, we saw that Mick Hammond got balked by our friend earlier on. But outside of that, as he makes
There's a car around.
Yes, no, he didn't make a mistake. Sorry, I was watching Jake, but he didn't make a mistake. Actually, good driving there, good avoiding. Federico Duarte, Joachim Daroca, can't even see the last name. But I'd like to buy a vowel if that's okay. But some dramas there for the car 18 rough.
Yeah, he just got loose under brakes, locked the rears and sent him around in front of the field. There's a lot of cars walking wounded, which is not surprising with some of the driving that's been going on tonight. And a couple of cars here that are just trying to work their way through and try and get to their pit stop if they haven't already. But it's just, yeah, for Maloney and the leaders at the moment, it's sort of just trying to pick your moments to get around these guys.
Yep.
I don't think half of them know where they're at the moment, and definitely, I think that's, oh, sorry, I thought that was Marneef in front of Michael Hammond, but it's actually Timothy Jackson. So Jacko's just sitting there, just quietly in front of Hammond, but I thought it was Marneef.
We didn't really ever get the chance to go through the weather. This is why these guys are in pain right now. The track temperature is 52 degrees. 52 degrees, clear skies 32 degrees, but the track temp is 52 degrees. That's as hot as it ever gets, and these cars are really, really struggling.
Yeah, actually, that could have played a little bit to some of the slipping and sliding that's going on around here, and some cars losing it that may not usually. 52 degree track temp, that's super hot, especially for any sort of car, and especially with these GT3 cars. Yes, they got traction control, ABS, etc., but they still can get a little bit sideways, and as soon as you put them on this sort of a hot track, they're going to do that. And just a couple of cars are maybe struggling with that, especially with the tyre temps and tyre pressure, sorry. They may have to do a little adjustment. You don't do it in the pit stop though, so they will just have to live with what they got and try and get to the end.
Good little battle we've got on here. The car 91 in 23rd position, DK Lee with 24th, Chandra Yong and Muhammad Ali Ishak in behind in the McLaren MP412C for the Archipelago Racing. These guys, we saw Muhammad made a mistake earlier on. Chandra Yong, we saw he made a mistake earlier on. DK Lee looks like he's carrying just a slight bit of damage, so we'll assume that it was a bit of a touch there earlier on, but these guys are all closing right up, and that's really deep there by Muhammad.
Wow.
So he's gonna be losing some time there, no doubt. And even behind them, Min Park in the 26th position now, car 32. He looks like he's got some issues. Whether he's had a slowdown he's trying to clear, because he's just letting cars freely go through.
Yeah,
and Muhammad Ali's gone.
Yeah, I have
So,
lost him. He's just gone.
well, he's just gone in way too deep onto Chandra Yong into turn two, and tagged him. That was just in front of our leader, Jake Maloney. I don't think it affected Jake in any way, to be honest with you. I don't think it would have slowed him down. But Jake's last lap of 13.471. That's the thing. There's no need to pit for Jake right now. He could just keep running as long as he can. About 80 litres, I think the cars need. We're just over halfway through the race.
Yeah, that's right. We've done about 23 to about 25 minutes at the moment. So cars getting through this little short race, sort of a sprint race. Yeah, 80 litres, don't need to put any fuel. It's just a stop in the pits, so you just got to come to a stop in your pit box and then get going again. So that's what I mean. Everyone's going to be on the same sort of strategy here. There's no one going to be trying to do an undercut or put less fuel in on everyone's got the same pit stop time. It just depends on when they take it, and it's just some of these cars are just all over the place. It's hard to actually keep a hold of what's going on here. So many cars all over the show at the moment, trying to figure out who's pitted, who hasn't. It's just Anthony Winkleman, we know, hasn't. He's sitting down in 5th at the moment, lonely all by himself. Looks like he's in one of the best positions on the track with no one around him. But a couple of guys making positions of who have stopped. I think Jones is maybe, correct me if I'm wrong, the first that has stopped.
Well,
so look out for him with Benz behind him.
Well, let's just have a look at this. Let's go to the position for position 10 here. We've got Matt Shinosky with Tom Jones. I think it's also Martin Silvaski in 9th position. So this is where the race is. Martin in the car 010 from the Gold Coast. You'll see the colours of that car referring to the Gold Coast Titans, that horrible rugby league sport. Matt Shinosky's done a pretty good job here in the Audi. We've got Jason Bent, Simon Feigl, and who was the fastest person in qualifying and therefore started 10th, Tobias Cherney in that McLaren down in 14th position. We saw what happened to him on lap 1. So this is a great battle we've got here with a mixture of cars too.
Yeah, good little mixture here. We're just missing a BMW in this battle. We'd have all makes up there, and they're just really starting to push Matt Shinosky's just trying to hold his line here. He doesn't have to move out of the way, but these guys are trying to force their way through. We do know he hasn't pitted yet. On my timing sheets, he hasn't stopped. So he's sort of in the middle of all these guys who have stopped. And Simon Feigl, even with that damage that he got in the early race, he must have had a quick repair because he's able to get that car set back out and it's all fixed with all the hood clips and everything all back on it. But he's done well to put it in a position where he is, even though Bent's had a little bit of an issue as Martin Silvassi pits from P9 in front of all of them.
Yeah, so that really frees these guys up, doesn't it? I think with Martin, he hasn't been racing for that long, so he's done a really good job. And Matt Shinosky has he put up a bit of a fair fight in that Audi. I still don't think it's the biggest tennis racket out there, but what that's done is freed Tobias Cherney, Simon Feigl, Jason Bentz, and Tom Jones. And looking down the road, they have Lachlan Crowe in front of them, and I'm not sure whether Lachlan's pitted or not. No, he hasn't. So I would think they might round him up pretty quickly.
Yeah, I'd say they'll catch up to him and get around him pretty quickly, but there's a lot of gap in front of these guys at the moment just to sort of chill. The next car in front of him is the series director, Mark Lang, so he does an amazing job for this series. He's got him and Kevin Wang has a lot of work to do after this race, and they'll have to be looking to do some incidents. But Jones and Bent's really the pace setters at the moment. They may not be leading, but they're the pace setters of these guys who have pitted, and just see where they fall into place towards the end of this one.
Yeah, well, Tom Jones last at 14.093, and we want to compare that to our leader, Matt Maloney, at 13.597, so 0.4 of a second there, gained by Jake Maloney. He like I said, he tripped over in the first lap, and when the time comes, he might say something about it, no doubt. But since then, he has driven a pretty good race. I would think that he would probably think there's going to be a penalty coming as well. But for now, all he can do is put his head down, get some fast laps, try and build up the lead, and that's exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, that's right. He's doing a good job of that. He's got a 9.3 second gap over Nigel Manif, which I think that's put Michael Hammond in the pits, which it has. So Hammond is now the leading car that is pitted. He is down in P6, actually in front of Alex Marshall. So he's got a good gap to the guys behind him who had pitted of Tom Jones and Jason Bent, Simon Feigl.
Yeah, we're looking further into this race. A lot of the cars are starting to pit now. Muhammad Ali Ashak down in 27, the Archipelago Racing car, that striking livery with that Planet Earth there. I'm surprised as to he hasn't driven a great race, has he? Unfortunately, he's had a few incidents. Considering he showed some really good strong pace, but he's got a chance now. He's 14.521 last lap. He's got a chance now to try and sink his teeth into this clear track in front of him and hopefully make himself up a few positions.
Yeah, that's what he needs to do. He's a lap down at the moment, but that's just with everyone going through. And Maloney still hasn't stopped yet, so he'll still have to come in as well as Nigel Manif. So he'll get his lap back somewhere along the way, but if he can just put his head down, he can get going.
Sorry, Chandru Yong has made a mistake as well, and that's caused a little bit of chaos behind with some of the lap cars. Nigel Manif didn't quite get caught up in this, but certainly had to balk, but there was some dramas back there. My computer's playing up terribly tonight at the moment, sorry. But yeah, some drama back there.
Yeah, a lot of drama. This race has been filled with drama at the moment. Nigel Manif just trying to work his way through this lap traffic, trying to stay out of everyone's trying to stay out of his way, and he's trying to make his way through the field. So just a whole bunch of cars going every which way and everywhere at the moment. I think that's Alex Marshall, I think maybe coming in the pits, not 100% sure, just clearing traffic, which he did.
Well, that's interesting that Alex is coming out. Look out for the trailing pack here of Jones, Bentz, Feigl, because these guys are 8, 9, 10. They're the ones who probably got Marshall in their sights. So really deep by Bentz. Gee whiz. Some heartbreaking moments there almost for these guys. But Tobias Cherney, very patient. Now let's just see where they come out compared to Marshall. Haven't seen Marshall at all.
No. Marshall stayed out. Sorry, yeah, there was a car coming in, and I thought he was coming in, but he actually tried to. There was another car in front of him that came in, so I think he was maybe coming in, but he had to think last-minute decision and stayed out.
Well, that might have cost Marshall some time, but these guys here, this is where the battle is at the moment. These guys catching up to our host, Mark Lang. Tell you what, Mark, you must pull your hair out sometimes, but this is a good race that we've got in here. Jones, Bentz, Feigl and Tobias Cherney. We saw what Bentz did last time. Really deep. Took avoiding action. There's no dramas there. Didn't take anyone out. So this race goes on. And just look at the size. Once we got that chance there of the Mercedes compared to that rough, it looks like the Mercedes is about to eat that car. It's just so big comparison.
It is. It's like the Mercedes is like 10 kilos fatter than every other car on the track. It's just that much wider than everything else. As well as the McLaren behind him, you could see I think that was Simon Feigl having a look on Bentz. He ran a bit deep under brakes there into turn 11 hairpin. So we may have a better run here. Simon behind Jason Bentz here, the car 100 and car number 85 here, having a good battle for P9. And just Simon just putting him under a little bit of pressure now, and there's a car coming out. Who's that? I think that's Anthony Winkelman. So Winkelman's come out right in the middle of this battle, so he's put it right in the middle here of the BMW, and he's going to be all over the back of Tom Jones right now, coming up through the turn 3 S's.
You did ask for a BMW, asking you shall receive. That's what they do at Sim Races Asia, mate. And there is now a BMW amongst it, and it's probably the leading BMW in the field. Certainly the leader of the series, Anthony Winkelman. But he looks like he's immediately under pressure from Jason Bentz, who makes a very good, clean racing move there. Behind them, however, Tobias Cherney has overtaken Simon Feigl. So look out for Tobias to start making his way through this pack as well.
Yeah, he's definitely got the pace here, and look at that McLaren, the BMW, and the Mercedes all together. It really shows that they've started to get these cars right and match them all up in this pace. There's a couple of different variants. Obviously, some cars are better here and there. Tobias is going to have a look on Anthony Winkelman down here into the final hairpin. And who's that around the outside? That is Simon Feigl around the outside. He's trying to get the Mercedes on the power down.
That's some good opportune driving, though. He's had some really good racecraft to stick his nose there. I'm not sure the move's going to work. Tobias, a very respectful driver, is going to give him racing room and will still be able to hold on that position. But good racecraft there by both these boys.
Yeah, great racecraft there, and especially for Tobias to know he was still there on his inside and give him the room that Simon needed there, because it could have ended badly coming through that little kink going up into turn 2 up the hill. And he gave him enough room so that they could keep going. And Anthony Winkelman really mixed up this little battle here with his BMW, and he's going to just be trying to push on to catch Bentz and Jones in front of him. Yeah,
well, the battle does keep going on. I'm just wondering with Winkelman, he was just that much slower coming out of the pits, whether I know it's only a stop-go, you don't change tyres, fuel, nothing. but I wonder if just the tyres just drop off that little bit of temperature and it affected his performance, because it was, yeah, he was harassed, he was bullied into that outlet, wasn't he? And lost that spot to Jason Bent so quickly. But it was nothing against Jason. Did a really good, clean job. But maybe Anthony's also looking after his championship.
Yeah, that's right. And I just had a look. I think Maloney has made his stop. So Maloney has done his pit stop and he has come out. It's actually come out in P2, so he hasn't lost much ground. And Michael Hammond is about another 4 or 5 seconds behind him. So he's done a good job there to get out in front of Michael Hammond and regain his provisional P1 at the moment, as Nigel Maneath is the only car out of this top sort of 5 cars before that hasn't stopped.
Nathan Groudon just had his pit stop as well from what was 5th position, the car number 7, the BMW there. So yeah, like you said, I think it's just Nigel Maneath now, and then we're all evened up.
Yeah, it's sort of hard trying to pick where we're at. Just having a look through here, just Cohen Klopman actually, he's pitted as well, and he's in a good position at the moment. I don't think Alex Marshall has come in yet either, so Alex Marshall will be coming in quite shortly, I'd suspect. But yeah, Nigel Maneath, Alex Marshall, the 2 guys in the top 4, yep, as he comes in now. So those, now it's only Nigel Maneath, the only car of this sort of top 5 bunch that hasn't pitted.
Yeah, it looks like Tim Jackson's day's over as well. His Mercedes looks more like a sausage roll, so his car is done for the day, no doubt, but he's had no track time really at all. But yeah, Cohen Klopman, we up into 4th position now. Just need to have a look. I reckon he has pitted. Yes, he has pitted lap 3-1. So some gains here by the BMW driver.
Yeah, he's done a good job. He's been that little quiet achiever today. He started 10th on the grid and has just been working his way up through this field. And a little bit of an incident early on, he just sort of sat behind them in P5, all the guys up front, and just it's been keeping his nose clear, and he's going to get a good result out of this. And we'll see where he comes out in comparison to Nigel Maneath, but he keeps this up, he could be looking for a podium position at the moment.
Yeah, we just got information with the Jackson car, his pedals have gone left side for him, so he had a brake failure. So end of the race there for Tim Jackson, but like I said, he didn't have a hell of a lot of track time this week, so it's all road ahead now towards Monza for Jackson and his team to try and get that car today. Just having a look at Jake Maloney's time here in 2nd place now, behind Nigel Maneath. Maneath has not pitted though. A 14.128 for Jake, looking at 13.2 seconds down. So Nigel, yeah, that's not enough there, I wouldn't think, to make that pit stop and come out in front of Maloney.
Yeah, no, he's just got a little bit too much ground sort of to make up if he wants to try and get that position still ahead of Maloney. But I think he may just drop in between Hammond and Klopman. It's going to be interesting, just dropping slightly into that little gap there and just get the car nice on entry and exit, and he may be able to do it and put himself in a podium position. But we'll see whether he pits this lap time by. So 37 minutes-ish into this race, he's looking left and right around all these lap cars. So he's staying out this lap, but he should certainly be coming in shortly.
Well, yeah, he can pit on the last lap if he needs to, can't he? But at the moment, he's got cars that have to obey the blue flag. And to be fair, it looks like, there's Min Park in that last instance. The guys look like they're doing a reasonably good job. So whilst he's got Chris Pauly in front, who's going fairly okay in the championship too, just quite in that Audi. But outside of that, he's got a pretty clear track. So, Nigel from Amsterdam does a very, very good job week in, week out, and whatever he drives. He's one of these guys who can just get into a car and drive it fast, and that's what he's done here tonight.
Yeah, he's done a good job of that. And just having a look back at this battle, we got Anthony Winkelman, Tobias Cherney, and Simon Feigl battling for P7, 8, and 9. And Tobias is harassing the back of Anthony Winkelman. It's good to see the BMW and the McLaren still having a go here tonight, even though those Mercedes are really starting to take over the series, and the Audis. Just unfortunate we haven't seen a lot of the Audis since they started. They were a bit on the downside of everything, and now they've started to pick up the pace, the Audis, but unfortunate not to see as many of them in this series. But yeah, the BMW and the McLaren still putting on a show.
Yeah, I'm just thinking maybe with these type of series, I know the SEK series in Australia will do it as well, that once you choose your car, you're locked in, you're committed. Maybe with the changes that are made available to the GT3 cars especially, mistake there by Winkelman. I'm just thinking maybe they should be given the option at the halfway mark to make a change to that car. But yeah, Winkelmann made that little bit of mistake. Tobias Cherney could have made life a lot more difficult to him, just had to back out of it. But this is where the action is, isn't it? The BMW, the McLaren, and the Mercedes all align and stream.
Yeah, that's right. And Winkelmann looks very vulnerable at the moment. He doesn't look like he has the pace. His Benz was really wide there. He came back from a long way out of that hairpin. Simon's also having a look at Tobias Cherney. So this battle between these three really heating up at the moment, just for the bottom positions of the top 10. And they've got a lap car who stays well out of the way there, which is nice of him to do that. I didn't catch the car of that. It was King Kong AO, so he stayed out of the way there for these three to keep battling on. Simon may just be chilling back here in P9 behind the Tobias Cherney and Anthony Winkelmann, just sitting back, maybe just sizing up what happens, maybe try and benefit from a mistake from the two in front.
Things with the McLaren, we find that the tyre life struggles in comparison with other cars. We think that the BMW is probably going to be able to hang on to its tyres the best, but it looks like Winkelmann is the one who's struggling. Simon Feigl behind looks like the one who could, you know, if he got the opportunity to go through, he'd pull away from the two, but certainly Winkelmann out of the three is the one who seems to be holding up the pack a little bit, but he's not doing anything wrong. He's holding his line, he's watching his entries, he's getting his exits right, he's doing a really good job. He's got a championship to worry about, he's up in the 7th place.
Yeah, that's right. He's got a good championship position at the moment. He doesn't need to be fighting these guys too hard. He knows what he needs to do, and he's actually just run a little bit wide as Cherney wore very late on the brakes there. He had a look. He just got the nose out of there last minute. I think he wasn't expecting Winkelmann to run that little bit of a wider entry and had to get out of it the last minute, but they're definitely fighting here, and that actually held up Simon there. He lost a bit of ground there, unsure of what was going on in front of him. So he's lost a little bit of time there, and he's just going to sit behind them and maybe try and regain that as these regain that time lost as these guys start to battle. As there was a car off in front of him.
And don't be surprised if our pole position man, Zach Hanlon, in 10th position. Now, this is a really, really good recovery by this guy. Started pole position, you know, we've talked enough about what happened lap 1, but he's been able to recover here. He's got himself now into the top 10, 14.929, 6/10 of a second gain last lap. There is that car, Federico has, you know, that car's a bit of a dog's breakfast. I'm probably think it might be best if he pulled over the side and got out of the way completely, because it's going to be an inconvenience. He's doing his best to get out of the way, but you know, at this stage of the race, probably should think about pulling in.
Yeah, probably at this stage would be the better option. Just having a look, Nigel Munteith hasn't pitted. I don't think we have that many laps to go. It could be coming down to that one last lap. It's about 39 minutes down, so we've got about 5 minutes left. So a couple of laps he can maybe come in towards the end, but that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to get as much as he can right now of a gap and try and slot in for that P3, but it'll be interesting, that little bit of a time game where he can just slot it in there if he's going to come out right next to Klopman, in front or behind him.
No, he won't come out in P3. He'll come out... Actually, no, he could come out in P3, you're right, yeah, with Maloney, Hammond and Klopman. Klopman's 27.5 seconds down, so I reckon you're on the money there, Jake. As he comes into the pits now, I reckon Nigel here is aiming for a top 3 podium position, which will be outstanding. And this is his debut race in Sim Racers Asia as well, so fantastic if he can pull that off.
Yeah, he's coming down pit lane, so he's trundling down at 70 k's per hour. It's not a fast speed here, so he's just cruising down. Hopefully he's going to just get it across the line. He will see what time he's sort of at when he crosses. He will cross around the same time as Jake Maloney, so it's 1.8 seconds down on Maloney on the track. He's done his stop. That was very quick, well done. He's going to get that out, maybe... done that really well, so he's going to come out with a lot of gap there to Klopman. He's done a good job there. Klopman is only just coming up the hill now, so he's done a great job there to come out in P3.
Well, it's getting also, Jake, we're going to put our heads together. Who's going to be our driver of the day? There's some tough decisions to make. There's no doubt about that. Looking forward to what your vote is. You're going first this week. I went first last week. We'll make that clear. But yeah, Nigel Munteith has done a fantastic job tonight. I'm not trying to lean on the fence there at all. But yeah, he hasn't put his foot out of place. But another guy who hasn't put his foot out of place is Cohen Klopman, from 10th on the grid up into 4th position.
Yeah, he's done an excellent job, as well as down here looking at this battle again between Winkelmann. He's from 13th up to 7th, so he's definitely had a good race. And he's got this battle of Tobias Cherney and Simon Feigl all over the back of him. He has had this amount of pressure for the past 5 to 10 laps, and he's been able to withstand it. Ever since he's come out of the pits, he has just driven an awesome race right now, holding on to that P7 at the moment. That is valuable points for him, especially when he's leading the championship.
Yeah, it is, and that's what it's all about. At the same time, another guy making his debut in the series, Tom Jones, up into 5th position, has done a good job. But the battle's still on here with Jason Bentz. Probably a bit clear, but I reckon we've got to keep our eyes on this battle here with the car 96 in 7th, Anthony Winkelman and Tobias Cherney. We are getting deep into this race. Tobias is going to start getting a bit itchy here to try and think about making a move.
Yeah, well, actually, they've been catching Jason Bentz, so I don't know whether Bentz has some damage or whether he got any damage from when it was Neon King or whoever it was, I can't remember, sorry, Nuno Tang, actually, sorry, that was flipping through the air, and I think he may have got a little bit of damage to his right front, and he's lost a considerable amount of times last time. He lost half a second last time round. He's been losing a lot of time to these guys behind him. So Winkelman may just be sort of seeing that little Mercedes out in front of him and just trying to push on as hard as he can. And if he can get that position, that's another spot for the championship.
No, I don't think it's a little Mercedes. It's a big Mercedes in front of him. I don't know. It could be just as simple to Jason. He's a seasoned driver now. A lot of experience on board. Did a lot of R Factor before he came over to iRacing with his teammate Mick Hammond. So all you got to do is just do enough to get in front of these guys. But gee whiz, he loses an awful lot of ground there, under brakes into that hairpin. So gains are certainly made, but it is such a hard track to make passes on. And what are we, just coming up to the 45-minute mark of what is a 45-minute race. So there's not a lot of time here. Certainly not the white flag yet.
Yeah, definitely not a lot of time for Winkelman to gain that spot, but he's sort of hoping the time runs out. He's got Tobias Cherney still all over the back of him, but yeah, the difficulty to pass here is definitely shown between Tobias. Tobias is an amazing racer, we all know that, and he's just been unable to get around Anthony Winkelman, and he may have had the pace, but like you're saying, the McLaren isn't the strongest on its tyres, and he may be feeling it towards the end of this one, which he sort of looks like he hasn't had as much of an attack on Anthony as he did at the start, and it definitely is starting to fall into the clutches of Simon Feigl behind him.
Yeah, and they've got a lap car, Yazrin Yali, who does the right thing, the Archipelago car, the car 23, gets out of the way, so this battle continues. I'm surprised Tobias hasn't stuck his nose in there where it's not really comfortable for Mr. Winkelman in front. But behind him, Simon Feigel's the one who's looking the most racy out of these guys. But I reckon he'll be coming up very, very close to probably still another lap to go after this. I reckon 2 laps.
Yeah, I reckon about 2 laps to go. I think Maloney's got a 4-second gap at the moment, just down in front of Michael Hammond. So, and Nigel Money is comfortably in second, just in his own little bubble. But this battle still rages on here from 6 all the way through to P9, and I don't know who's going to benefit out of this one. There's not a lot of opportunities, but if someone sticks their nose under and the guy in front isn't aware that they're going to do that, they could end in carnage, and multiple people could benefit from this.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, keep your eye out for the car 85 Simon Feigl. He is looking menacing more and more each lap. I just don't think he's getting that good a drive out of the slower corners. I'm not sure if that's a setup thing or not. The BMW and the McLaren look like they get lift off so much quicker, but under brakes, that Mercedes looks like it's absolutely rock solid. Tobias Cherney's as close as he's ever been right now.
Yeah, he's definitely the closest he's ever been. He may actually have a look going down to the hairpin as Bentz pits.
Didn't put enough fuel in.
Yeah,
couldn't have put enough fuel in.
I'd say that's what's happened, but that's really interesting to see that. So that's sort of let Anthony Winkelman up into 6th from 13th on the grid, and I think this would be around the last lap. So now he's all got to do is hold on from Tobias Cherney behind him.
Yeah, well, Christmas is there, isn't it? And all these boys have been promoted at one position. This isn't over, though. This would be close to our last lap, I think. I don't have those details in front of me, unfortunately, but I'll be thinking it's close to the last lap of what has been.
Yeah, it is.
Adventure-filled race, no doubt. And as much as we'd love to watch this battle continue on, we should acknowledge up the front the car 67, who is going around the hairpin for the last time. He's been able to complete 37 laps of TTO car number 67, Jake Maloney. there's going to be questions about the win. He'll know that. But in the meantime, all he's done is taken a checkered flag. So congratulations to Jake. We'll let the stewards work out if any action at all. Mick Hammond in second place. He'd be happy with that, I would think, too. Nigel Manet for a debut race with Sim Racers Asia, and I think this is actually his first race in the Mercedes-Benz, will be ecstatic with that as well. Cohen Klopman up into fourth position. I reckon that was outstanding. Fifth place for Tom Jones, again another debut driver. Didn't see what happened there. Did any changes there? No. Winkelman sixth. Winkelman sixth. Cherney seventh. Feigl, Hanlon, and Groudon with Jason Bentz. Let's see where he ends up finishing. Looks like 11th. Is it going to be?
I'm not sure. He's going very slow at the moment around turn 10. I think he has a major problem with that car at the moment because he is losing a bundle of spots. That was Alex Marshall that has gone past him.
He's not even...
I don't know what he's doing.
He's not taking a shortcut to the finish line, I hope.
Well, he'd have to slow down anyway. I think he's just trying to get as close to the line as possible, and he's going to try and stop and let that time go. He's just sort of trying to get the car there. I think he's going to finish in 20th. So from a provisional P6, he has lost a lot of time with a little mistake there.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happened with him as well. Hey, look, we've got to give a shout out to our new director tonight too. We haven't had the chance to say it normally. Alex Simpson does the job here, but Scotty Newton has taken the reins for the first time tonight. So I think he's done a bloody good job considering what he had to put up with at the start. So well done to Scotty. But wow, an interesting race. Just take us through those positions, Jake.
Yeah, so the results for today's round at Sonoma for Sim Racers Asia, Jake Maloney, a little bit of controversy over that win, but he's got that one at the moment, P1. Michael Hammond second with Nigel Manet running out the podium in third. Colin Klopman in fourth with Tom Jones, a good stellar drive there in fifth. Anthony Winkelman, amazing drive from 13th on the grid to sixth. Tobias Cherney in seventh with Simon Feigl, 8. Hanlon and Groudon rounding out top 10. Evans in 11th from 26th on the grid, good job. Daniel Leet in 12th with Lachlan Crowe in 13th. Matt Chinosky and Martin Silvassi 14th and 15th. Paul Longer and Fana Lazordi in 16th and 17th. Muhammad Ali Ishak in 18th. Alex Marshall 19th. And Jason Bentz in 20th, rounding out the top 20. The rest of the people will be on your screens and the results. So 38 cars. A lot of cars are lapped down there, but yeah, top 20 good. Unlucky there for Jason Bentz.
Yeah, it was unlucky. We've got, I think Mick Hammond is going to join us. But before we get Mick up here, I'm going to you first of all. Jake, who is your driver of the day?
I have to say my driver of the day is Anthony Winkelman to withstand that pressure that he had from 13th of the grid up to 6th and did an amazing job, stayed out of trouble, kept his nose clean. I think he deserves a good championship result that could ultimately end in him taking the title at the end of the season.
Yeah, good call. I was tossed up between him, Cohen Klopman, or Nigel Manet, but we will go with Anthony Winkelman this week, our driver of the week, the car 96, who's the championship leader, but that's why he's the driver of the week, is that he was protecting what was a very good championship. We've got Mick Hammond with us. Mick, congratulations tonight, second place. Welcome to Apex Racing TV's broadcast of round 4 of the Sim Racers Asia Championship, mate. The car number 10 Mercedes it looked like a pretty clean race. Your teammate Jason Bentz had some issues. Tell us a bit about your race.
Yeah, qualified in second spot. As you know, it was reverse top 10. Had a good run there, trying to catch Jake, but a bit of lap traffic got involved in that. And Jason actually ran out of fuel.
Yeah, well, we picked that. We said he had some issues, and he was certainly pulled up a lot, and to run out of fuel. So, right from the get-go, 80 litres would be needed, but obviously Jason's a bit thirstier than the average bear.
Yeah, I just think he underfilled the car at the start, and that was his problem, because I was sitting nice and pretty on fuel. There at the end, I had another couple of laps to go.
And mate, for the championship so far, how's that been going? There's been a few incidents tonight. No doubt they'll be looked upon. But how you been going with the championship so far?
Yeah, not too good defending the title from last season. Just a few top 10s, and last week I got DNF'd.
And you've had a busy week. You had the Australian Sports Car Championship on Wednesday night. Congratulations on winning that series in, I don't know if it's B class or certainly you were in the Aston Martin, mate. So just shows the versatility of yourself and the team going so well so far.
Yeah, me and Jason just love to drive every different make of car out there. You just can't get stuck to one car because I think that just gets a little bit boring.
Well, mate, good job tonight. Second place, a good, strong position. Mate, is there anyone you want to thank at all?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Laser Racing, Simulate It, and Angry Birds Racing, and with that second place, Brenton, I'm the round winner.
Yes, from
because reverse grid.
Reverse grid, of course. Thank you. We were running a bit late with the broadcast today, so yes, well done. Well, congratulations, Mick. Awesome, congratulations. Really stoked for you.
Cheers, guys. Great telecast you've been putting on for the series as well.
Yeah, I'm glad you reminded me, Mick. So congratulations and well deserved.
Thanks, guys. I'll talk to you next time.
Look forward to it. We'll get the race winner, but not the round winner, so we just got told. Jake Maloney, TTL car number 67. Jake, congratulations on getting the car across the line first. Controversy, no doubt, we can cover that, but tell us about the rest of the race.
Yeah, the race was pretty good. Pretty interesting first few laps, getting on off the road a bit, but not too bad. And all in all, after that, it was pretty much just cruising around, keeping it on the black stuff.
Obviously, Jake, this is leaning towards, for those not in the know, TTL, a very strong Australian team, run a lot of V8 supercar series down here, but notice you guys running the GT3s a lot more of late. What's that aiming towards? Something bigger and better for 2017?
Possibly. I mean, at the moment I'm with all the preparations for Bez with TTLR. I'm just spending more time in the GT, trying to get as close to those guys as possible. Just making myself faster in the GT3 cars, venturing out from the V8. But what we're doing to 2017, yeah, a bit far away yet, but who knows.
Okay, now the first two laps were completely crazy. I would imagine that you'll have to be, well, whether they give you a chance to answer to it, whether they just lay down, but what's your thoughts on the first two laps, including the incident there on lap 2?
Well, first lap, got to move around the outside of Zachary and, yeah, just run us clean off the track when we had more than half a car past the B pillar, but all in all, it was hard racing, and I don't think there was anything wrong with it.
So, did you feel that your car might have run up the curb a little bit and drive into the side of Zach's? Because just looking at the replay, and I'm looking at it right now again, that's certainly what it comes across like.
Yeah, bounced out a little bit, but all in all, I think it was just a bit of a racing incident. Yeah.
And on to next week, Monza, obviously, a massive week next week for the TTLR team, the cross team between TTL and TTR, with Madison Down coming on board for that. It's the fact that you're in the Mercedes, is that the car that the guys are going to be driving, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. It's what we've been doing all the testing in. I think it's pretty clear that.
Yeah. And for yourself at Monza next week for the Sim Racers Asia Championship, are you going to be running in that next week?
Yeah, I'll be running. I'll have done quite a few laps. By then, should have a pretty sorted setup, so I would hope to be just as strong next week.
Well, take away the controversy, mate. Good job tonight. Got the car across the finish line at the flag. So, what happens during the week is what happens. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to at all?
Just give a shout out to the team, as usual. Great team. Really enjoying being with them, and yeah, that's about it.
Jake Maloney there for round 4. We've got Cohen.
Kind of messy.
Klopman with us now. Cohen, welcome to round 4 of the Sim Racers Asia broadcast. 10th on the grid, up into 4th position at the end of the race, mate. Congratulations. What was a stellar drive. Mate, tell us a bit about your race.
I was kind of lonely actually. I saw a big crash in lap 4, I think, which I gained some places from. Further than that, yeah, I was stuck behind Nigel. Well, he was a bit faster, I should say, and yeah, I had quite a lonely race. That was my race actually, in 4th position.
Well, tell us a bit about Cohen Klopman. Sim Racers Asia. So haven't seen much of you. I think we've seen you a few races. So Monza next week. What's the plan there? Running there in the BMW next week?
Yeah, that's the plan. Monza in the BMW.
Sorry, you go.
Of course, the BMW is a bit down on the straights. It's a bit slow, but I hope I can make some ground up in the corners.
And yourself, GT3, obviously your favourite weapon of choice. What's your experience in the GT3 line? Tell us a bit about Cohen Klopman. We don't know much about him.
Long story, but I used to be really slow in GT3 actually. Bottom splits and such, but I don't know. I just found some speed, I think.
And onwards to the rest of the series. Are you planning on running the rest of the series?
Yeah, I think Monza surely. Rest, I don't know. If Monza goes great, then I will make the decision there.
Well, mate, good job tonight. I thought outstanding, to be honest with you, from where you were on the grid to have a clean race and get yourself such a good position. So is there anyone you want to thank at all?
The host, of course, for hosting this race. It was great fun, and thank you.
Good job, Cohen Klopman there. And we're going to wrap up tonight with Tobias Chern. Haven't spoken to you for a while, young Tobias. Welcome to round 4 of Sim Racers Asia's GT3 Championship, brought to you by Apex TV. Mate, gee whiz, that would have been a frustrating race, wouldn't it? You were the fastest car in practice and in pre-qual as well, but looked like you got caught up in a pretty nasty incident there on lap 2.
Yeah, hello Brenton. What an introduction, and also hello Jake. Actually, I'm quite happy with the result. Yeah, considering the issues I had in the main race. So I grab up the points from the qualification, where I could barely do 5 clean laps without throwing the car away in turn 1. It's a really a mess to drive at this track conditions. I think 52 degrees asphalt temperature is something that the McLaren absolutely doesn't like. I don't know how about the other cars, but the McLaren was a pain to drive here at Sonoma. So I was not expecting too much from the main race. The main goal was to survive, and yeah, at least could say it lasted 1 lap. And then there was this accident right before me, and I guess I took the wrong side. On the right side there was way more space. I think I hit the car a bit and damaged my front, and yeah, I thought without too much time loss I directly went into the pits, and so it was kind of okay. But of course then being in the with the back markers there in the field with so much going on, really I mean, from the entertaining point of view, it was a very good race.
Yeah, it was, but it's good to see you back, obviously, Tobias, from having a bit of a break. Where's Tobias and Alex show going to be heading for the rest of this series? Do we expect to see much of you?
So we will try to make these races where we have time to. So today Alex isn't available, he's in Spain, and last week I was in Austria, so whenever we have time we will show up, I guess, and every time we are enjoying the fun here in the series. It's good racing, and the broadcasts are great, so you guys do a fantastic job. I hope that I can make next week's race. We will have a 24 hours race planned for this day as well, but I will shift my time stamps a bit so I can race this series here.
So a pretty busy schedule. So you're in Austria, Alex is in Spain. Well, I was in Mackay, Queensland, Tobias, so you've got nothing there on me, mate. Mate, looking forward to seeing what you guys can bring the rest of the series. Just before we wrap up, is there anyone you want to thank at all?
Yeah, today I want to thank you guys. You're doing a fantastic job, and also, yeah, maybe some of my new sponsors here with our team, Rennsport Online. So basically, it's Race Sports Online if you translate it to English. But we are just a group of friends knowing us since back in the Gran Turismo 4 or 5 days. Yeah, so. Well, I'm happy that I brought some of these guys to iRacing, and now we finally hooked up together and made a team. And yeah, we are expecting some more competitive drivers in our team, so we develop them a bit further. So yeah, I guess you will hear from us in future. I hope so.
Look forward to it, mate. Well, thank you so much tonight, Tobias. Congratulations on what was a hard-fought race. Obviously some dramas early on, but a good recovery by yourself. Well, Jake, I reckon that's about it. Mr. Scotty Newton, our director tonight. Thank you so much to him. With the help of Sim Racing Experience, get onto there, www.simracingexperience.com. For Alex Simpson, who's normally here. He's doing the F1s at the moment, so be sure to catch that drama on a Race Spot TV. But Jake, I reckon that's about us ready to wrap up.
Yeah, I think that's it. It was a great job tonight, Brenton. Well done. And well done, everyone. Hopefully it can be a good race at Monza. I think it'll really be interesting, especially with BES there next week.
Yep, so looking forward to that. What will be round 5 of Sim Racers Asia, brought to you by Apex Racing TV. I'm Brenton O'Brien, that's Jake Blackhall. We look forward to seeing you at Monza next week.